Hello and welcome to episode 29 of Generation 2 of the Perfect Genetics Challenge. And there are going to be a lot of birthday parties and makeovers of just aged up Sims in this episode. Plus we will see 2 imaginary friends made real. We're getting ready for Generation 3 to begin, and this is little Damien chatting with his doll and playing, trying to make good friends with it before it becomes alive and he can make it real. In case you're wondering where that skeleton came from that's next to the house there just standing up, well, that was constructed by little Bindi the dog. He was digging up things all around the town and he found lots of pieces of our friend Fred, and he constructed Fred from the pieces he found, and that is what he got, is that skeleton. Eventually Damien got tired of singing to his little friend Cuddles, and he went upstairs to the greenhouse where he found a sprinkler, and he had a great time getting soaking wet and playing in the sprinkler. Nobody else knew he was there. He was being a bit naughty, I think, but he did enjoy himself. Meanwhile, Damien's father Bill was working on his painting skill. I discovered that he had a wish to get to level 10 in painting. So I set Bill to work painting endlessly. I wanted him to achieve that wish. Even if it's night time and it's pretty dark out, he's still out there painting. If you listen very carefully, you might hear the sound of the chainsaw in the garage sculpting ice. Somebody's very busy on their ice sculptures. Eventually Damien got tired of the sprinkler and he got dried off, and he brought his imaginary friend doll outside there near where his father was painting, and the doll became live. Now, this will happen as a part of the game if your sim has enough friendship developed from playing and talking with the doll. Well, it is a doll, but I don't have time for that, and so I cheat a bit. I use a mod from NRAS. It is debug enabler, and there is an options doll thing, and it says force live, and I get the dolls to come live because I want to get the video finished, and he could spend weeks of real time just talking to that doll before this will happen, and it may never happen. But now that the doll is live, they've got to become really good friends, and they now will spend quite a lot of time chatting and playing and getting to know each other, and when they become best friends as they can possibly become, then Damien will be able to offer the potion that he's got in his pocket, and Cuddles will take it and drink it and become real. Remember all of that time that children spend working on finding potions on the chemistry table? Well, that is where they get the potion from that they need to make their imaginary friends real. They have to be level 8 in logic before they're able to make that potion. So that is the main reason why I started them all working on the chemistry table all the time. There are other ways of getting that potion, of course. You can get an opportunity to find a rainbow gem and then take it to the science facility and sell it, and then use the money to buy the potion from the science facility, or you can get somebody else in the household to make it for you. And I do occasionally do that, but mostly I don't, because I like my little Sims to get a good logic skill. And I found from experience that it can take a very long time to achieve all of the things you need to do to get the potion from the science facility through that opportunity. It's much quicker, I think, to get them to learn logic while they discover all of the potions. And then we'll take him in to create a sim and give him a big makeover to make him look completely different. And then he'll go into stylist and get his clothes and other things that you can fix up in stylist. And there is our heir, Donna. She's the one making all the noise with the chainsaw, working on making lots of ice sculptures. I've got her working on ice so that she will make 25 ice sculptures, and then after that all of her ice sculptures will never melt. And until she gets to 25, we sell them as soon as she's finished. And it looks like she just finished that one. And the money that she got for selling that sculpture just took her over earning a total of 10,000 simoleons from sale of sculptures. And that was a wish that she has now achieved, was worth 7,500 lifetime happiness points. And here is Damien's twin sister, Eunice. She is having a joyride on the chair. The next room is the kitchen, and Poppy's in there, and she has come across Don, who's now an elder and got grey hair, and she's asking him to help her learn to drive. Now, in the previous episode, she went driving at night, and we saw that car from Into the Future with all the lights on the ground. Today, we're going to see her driving it during daylight. The drive doesn't go for very long, but we will see it in action. The car is the De Lorraine Flying Roadster, which I purchased for 110,000 simoleons because I really needed to reduce the amount of simoleons they had. It's got to the point where they're at 999,999, and if they sell anything, we just get a message saying the bank can't process it. Well, we didn't see much of that drive, did we? But she'd conquer her driving skill. Back at home, Damien and Cuddles had been playing for long enough, and they have become the best of best friends. And now Damien can offer the potion to Cuddles, who will accept it and drink it, and then Cuddles will become real. And then it'll be time for me to put him into Create a Sim and give him a massive makeover. And the next thing will be to take him into Stylist to get him some clothes. In Stylist they can have more than one of each outfit, but in Create a Sim you seem to be stuck with just one of each outfit. At least I am, I don't know why. Maybe that's how it's designed. So there he is. Now he goes into Create a Sim and Stylist, and that's what it come out like. I find there's different hair and different clothes. A lot of it's the same, but some of it's a bit different in each of Create a Sim and Stylist. So sometimes you need to go backwards and forwards between the two to find a particular hair or clothing item that you really want. Now Bill has finally got to level 10 in painting, and then the car has arrived to take him to work. And Cuddles became Connor when he went into Create a Sim. Occasionally you'll get a child that just wants to do this all the time. Holding court, I think is what he's doing. It's going to be a bit annoying. In the kitchen, Olivia had been hungry, so she whipped up a group serving of chana masala, and then she took a plate and she sat and ate it. And she's going to have her birthday shortly. She's going to become an elder, just like her husband, Don. She's the founder of this Perfect Genetics Challenge, and it's time for her to make way for another generation to begin. Debbie's imaginary friend Lola is there waiting for the birthdays to begin, and Olivia has arrived at her cake. Lola's going to help celebrate. And here comes Poppy. She's another one of the imaginary friends made real. Her previous owner was Oliver, Olivia's youngest son, who is just a teen. And that's Debbie in the red dress. And Donna has arrived. She is the heir to start Generation 3. And the candles have been blown out. Here's Oliver. He is the youngest child of Olivia and Don, and there she is. Now, I quite liked the look that she got, and I was prepared to keep that, but when she went upstairs, I cycled through to see what she would have in all of her different outfits, and she got a different hair and outfit every time, so I had to take her into Stylist in the end and fix her up. But I missed getting her party with it in the cake, which was sad because it was a very pretty party. Not to worry. What I mean when I said I got Olivia to cycle through her outfits, I got her to change outfits multiple times, and every single time she had completely different hair and completely different outfit. Now it is Cindy's turn. She's going to become an adult. Cindy was Olivia's heir, and Cindy's daughter Donna is a teen, and she's about to age up to young adult and begin Generation 3. On the left is Olivia in one of her new everyday outfits, and next to her is Donna, who is Cindy's heir, and then on our right is Clark, who is going to be Donna's husband. And that is Oliver standing there just behind Cindy, and little Damien between Cindy and Olivia, and his twin sister Eunice in the pink pyjamas there near the cake. And then the far right we've got Donna's sister, twin sister Debbie, and Oliver's imaginary friend made real, Poppy. And Don has now come in standing behind Cindy, and she's spinning into her adult form. And there she is. And she's been given a hair that I always get rid of, because way back in a very early game, I gave that hair to the daughter of Patience and Goodbye's Coffee, and I played that game for such a long time, and I always associate the hair with her, so I try to never leave it on any of my Sims when the game gives them that hair. I think I have left it on one or two over the past few years, but I just don't like to have it on another Sim because I keep thinking about that old game, and I want to concentrate on the game that I'm playing today. So that is Cindy's daughter, Debbie, Donna's twin sister, just sat down there. And there is Clark. He is going to marry Donna eventually. He's already aged up to young adult. There's going to be a lot of birthdays today. We've got to age up the twins, Donna and Debbie, and their two imaginary friends made real, Lola and Lana. So that'll be 6 birthdays in this episode. So although it's sad that I missed them eating cake for Olivia, it doesn't really matter because we're going to see it 5 more times with 5 other Sims. But Olivia is our founder. She would have been a good one to actually watch them eat cake. I had to give a lot of makeovers in this episode, and it took me a complete day out of my life just to do the makeovers for all of the Sims that aged up in this episode. But you won't see any of that because it just drove me insane. Lots of crashes and starting again from scratch and that sort of thing. Eventually, Donna completed one more ice sculpture. This was a little stool, and she sold it. She's now made 5 of the 25 she needs to make before she will be able to make ice sculptures that never melt. Luckily, she's not going anywhere. She'll be here forever because she's the heir. This is Debbie in her green nightwear. She is Donna's twin sister, and she has now completed her lifetime wish of getting to level 10 in painting and in writing. But I'm keeping her writing because she wants to write 25 books. It's worth a lot of lifetime happiness points. And Lola wanted to sculpt something in clay, so I thought I'd give Donna a bit of a break and allow Lola to do some sculpting. She also wants to place 5 sculptures, so whatever she does here I will place in the yard somewhere. There's Olivia having a chat with her youngest son, Oliver. He's a teen now. We've only seen him as a child up until last episode when he aged up to teen. And she's thinking about Bill, her son-in-law, who is now an adult. He's Cindy's husband, the father of Donna and Debbie and the other 2 sets of twins. Now there's 3 children here who are outside at the swimming pool. One of them is new. He's just starting to learn fishing. The other 2 are the twins, Damien and Eunice, and that is Connor. He is Damien's imaginary friend made real. And I wondered why Connor wasn't at the birthday parties, and he wasn't. You won't see him at the parties that are going to come up shortly. And it took me a long time to realise why. I kept thinking, where is Connor? And you know where he was? He was locked out of the house because when Eunice and Damien were toddlers, they kept escaping and going all around the place outside, and I wanted to keep them indoors. So I locked all the doors, but I had to name the Sims instead of just saying everybody but my household, because they were in the household, they could still get out. So I had to name Sims that can open this door or can get through this door. And of course Connor wasn't added to the list, so he was stuck outside. The same as those 2 when they aged up from toddler to child. I wondered why they were staying inside the house instead of going to school, and I had to add them to the list. Now I've got to decide, what am I going to do? Everybody put this household or leave it as it is, because I think I'll leave it as it is, because I will eventually work it out, and we're going to have a lot more toddlers shortly when the Generation 3 begins, and that's just about getting ready to start. It'll probably start next episode. Fortunately, Don remembered to feed the fish. I'd forgotten about them. I was actually surprised to see they were all still alive, and I suspect that's happening because there's so many Sims in the household. There will always be somebody to feed them, even if I don't instruct them to go feed the fish. In case you're wondering why all the fish bowls with one fish in each bowl, well, there is a lifetime wish presenting a perfect private aquarium, and that requires you to have 13 fish bowls and have a perfect fish of 13 different varieties, one in each bowl. And 2 of the Sims in this household have that lifetime wish. They are Olivia and Eunice, and it was easy to do. This can be a difficult one to get, but it was easy with this many Sims out fishing. It took a bit of organising, had to get 13 fish bowls and find 13 fish. And I find fish in fish bowls generally don't live long, but the 13 of them are still going strong, as I can see now. I was having trouble finding places to put them. Don't know how much longer they'll last for, but so far they're all good. And 2 of those Sims have now completed their lifetime wish because of all of these fish bowls. So little Eunice is still a child, and she's done her lifetime wish. And if any new Sims come into the household with that wish, with that lifetime wish, and all of these 13 fish are still alive, well then they will instantly complete their lifetime wish as well. And speaking of Eunice, here she is. And it's time for her imaginary friend, Peaches, to become live so they can build their friendship even more than what she's already managed by playing with it as a doll. And as the friendship grows and becomes the best of best friends possible, then she will be able to offer the potion to Peaches, who will then become real. Eunice started chatting about comic books, but Peaches seems to have a bit of a practical joker in her, and she used a water balloon to Eunice's face, but Eunice didn't seem to mind. She thought it was all a bit of fun, and they became even better friends. This process takes a really long time sometimes with some of these imaginary friends, and I don't really want to go through all of it, so I'll just show you the highlights here and there. At least their game of rock, paper, scissors went smoothly, unlike the one that Damien and Connor had, with Connor, while he was still an imaginary friend, giving Damien scares every time, between at least 2 big frights between the various goes at rock, paper, scissors. Anyway, eventually their friendship grew, and it became time for Eunice to offer the potion to Peaches. And Peaches was so happy for the opportunity to become real that she took it and drank deeply. That building you can see in the distance is the base camp that I put there. It's one of my builds. And of course, once Peaches becomes real, we'll have to take her into Create a Sim and give her a massive makeover, and then into Stylist to get the clothes we want. And there she is. So it turned out to be a little boy, but I've soon fixed that problem. I've discovered that if you make an imaginary friend real and the game crashes before you can save them, the next time you make them real, they'll be a different gender, so I have no problem changing the gender of an imaginary friend when they become real. And since her name was Peaches and I needed to change it, I like to use the first letter of the original name for the first letter of their new name. And I googled girls' names starting with P, and the one I chose was Patsy. And remember how I said that Connor missed the birthday parties? I'm pretty sure now that it was Patsy that missed the birthday parties. I think I fixed Connor's name on the doors and he was able to get in, but Patsy I completely forgot. Don't know why it took me so long to work out that she needed to be given access to the doors, but that didn't happen until after all the birthday parties were over. We're going to have a few parties now. The day has arrived, the day when Cindy's heir ages up to become a young adult, and here it's her future husband coming in to help her celebrate. And the other two, there is our founder, Olivia, has come in. She's an elder now. And the 2 other teenage girls there are Lana and Lola, the imaginary friends made real of the twins Donna and Debbie. And of course Donna, Debbie, Lana and Lola will all age up today. We've got Connor there in the crown, and that is Eunice, who's just come in, and Eunice's father Bill is on the far right, and he is also Donna's father. And of course I had to choose a trait for Donna. She has to dislike children, so she's got randomised traits for her other 4 traits, but the final one has to be dislikes children. And the reason that I really had to age her up today is she's grade A at school, but she doesn't have any homework and she hasn't done it. And I thought, I think she'll be okay, but she might drop down below grade A at school, and I needed her to be there so I could choose the dislikes children trait. Lola's wandering around in her red nightwear. Here she comes, this is Lola. And there's Lana, her cake down, and Poppy has sat down at this end of the table. Now, Lola and Lana, the 2 imaginary friends made real of the twins, will be aging up today as well. And there is Debbie in the green nightwear. She's over there still cheering on for the cake that's already been cut. She'll be aging up next. And next episode, we will have their graduations. And I suspect Debbie, Lola and Lana will all go to Vice City to live with all of the other household members that have moved out because they aged up and were not required to continue further generations of this story. That's Connor, the one I thought was locked out, but he wasn't. It's Patsy that's locked out. Poor little Patsy. She's the only one that can't get into the house to enjoy the birthday cake. But we'll fix that later. I know what the problem is now, but when I was recording this, I had no clue. I just was wondering where she was. I should have known, of course. I'd had the same problem with Connor the day before. Here comes Debbie now. It's her turn to blow out her candles, and she will become a young adult. I'm going to have to do a lot of time with stylist to make sure these 4 Sims have got all the right outfits. And here she is blowing out her candles. Debbie is now about to spin into her young adult form. She's finished with school, no more teachers, no more books. She's off to graduation and then Vice City to live with all of her relatives. Previous household members have already moved out to live in that city. Since she had done so well at school, I was able to choose a trait for Debbie, and I chose to give her the gatherer trait. Now this is a trait that I often feel very nervous about because I do remember from years ago people were reporting that the gatherer trait had a bug and that should never be used with the green thumb trait. And I must admit, I'm always nervous about it, but I have often put gatherer and green thumb in the same sim on many occasions and I've never noticed a problem. So that's just me. Not sure if there is a problem with it or not. So I don't use it very often, but I do like to use it occasionally. When I take them into stylist, I try to find them all unique outfits and unique hairs. I particularly try to avoid outfits or hair that I use in Sims and other games that I play a lot. And if I want to use the same outfit, I might give it a colour change or something like that, just so I can recognise easily who's who. And of course, Debbie's been given the hair that I used for Gabby Coffee all those years ago, so that is going to change as soon as I get her into stylist. And I'm pleased to see that Donna kept her hair because I still don't know how to pick that hair. It's just different. I don't know where it came from. Anyway, they're all enjoying their cake. The next 2 birthdays will be happening soon. It'll be Lana and Lola, and then we will finish the birthdays for this episode, and I don't think we'll have any birthdays next episode either. So when the cake is all eaten, it'll be time to clean up after the party and take Donna and Debbie into stylist to fix up their hair and outfits. And then we'll be starting 2 new birthday parties. And of course that's Debbie there with the red top, sporting her brand new young adult look. And this is Lola's cake and Lana as well, but we're having Lola's party first. And Lola is Debbie's imaginary friend made real, and she's come now to blow out her candles. She will also be a young adult and moving to Vice City very soon. And you can see Donna there in the background with her outfit on. She's got long purple pants and a white top. If you look carefully, you'll see that Donna and Debbie have got the same outfit. It's just different colour coordination there, and it is the same outfit that I chose for their older sister Denise, but her top is a blue top and she has already moved to Vice City. And Lola blows out her candles just as Cindy turns up. She's a bit late. She missed the birthdays of her two daughters, her twins, Donna and Debbie, and Bill isn't here either. I think he's at work. I could have timed this party better, couldn't I? Not to worry, we got them aged up successfully. And old Grandpa Don has turned up too now. I wonder where he's been. You would think that by now I would have worked out why little Patsy's not around the cake, that she's been locked out of the house. But I didn't wake up to it until after all of the parties were over. So it was too late by then. And there it is. Lola has now spun into her new young adult form. She's going to have to get a makeover as well. I think I'll keep that hair on her, but she needs new outfits. And wonder what her new trait is going to be. Great kisser. Oh, I haven't had that in a sim for a long time. I'm not too sure we'll even see that one working because she's going to be spending her life in another world and we're not likely to be playing her, but I'm sure she'll have fun with it. And now, as usual, it is cake eating time. And then it will be Lana's birthday. I'll give them both makeovers and we'll have to have a look and see what they're like, at least in their everyday outfits. And Debbie was the first one to join Lola with cake, and Poppy closely followed, but she wasn't eating cake. Poppy's got a lot to read. She's reading recipes and fishing bait books at the moment, but she's had plenty of cake already in previous parties, so you won't worry too much about that. But she could be better off sitting in a different chair. She's stopping somebody from sitting at the table to eat cake, and that's Oliver. Poppy is Oliver's imaginary friend made real. And here comes Olivia, our old grandma now, our founder. And Don, of course, is her husband, and they're the two elders in this household now. And now here come the two little boys, Damien and Connor. Connor, of course, has got the crown on, and he is Damien's imaginary friend made real. And there is Donna, the heir, about to sit down. Now, there's something that Damien and Donna have in common. They, apart from being brother and sister, and their parents are Cindy and Bill, but they both inherited their mother's hair and eye colour. And that is what is required to become the heir. And the only reason Damien didn't get to become the heir is because Donna was already the heir. She is much older than Damien. She was born first. And I'm sort of half sad about that because I'd like a male heir for a change. We've had Olivia as the founder and her heir was Cindy, and Cindy's heir is Donna. So that's 3 generations with a female heading them up. Now, I don't have a problem with females being the head of the generation, but I'd like to change things up a bit, and it'd be fun to have a male heir for a change. I'm sure we will get one eventually, because after all, there's going to be 10 generations. It'd be very surprising if all 10 generations had female heirs. It'd be something to look forward to find out what happens in the end. And now it's time for Lana to blow out her candles. This is the final birthday party for this episode. And now she has blown out her candles, and all she needs to do now is spin into her adult form, and then we'll see what her new trait is going to be. And after this birthday party is over, I am going to give you a fashion show, and I will show all of the outfits for each of the Sims that have aged up recently, so you see them in all of their outfits. So if you're interested in that, watch to the end. Now we'll have this party. And there she goes. She's spinning into her new young adult form. And she looks like she's kept her hair too. Might leave that with her. Now, what is her trait going to be? Savvy Sculptor. Now, that would be a handy trait to have at the moment with some of the other Sims who are sculpting madly. But she's going to be in Vice City. I'll have to try to remember to give her a sculpting station in her new house when she moves into it. And now they're going to be eating cake. I think you know everybody there. Let's go and enjoy the cake. Little Damien's still blowing his whistle. This Final cake's disappearing fast. I hope the Sims that are getting a piece are the ones that didn't have any from any of the earlier 3 cakes. One thing about them being Sims and eating a lot of cake, even after they're really stuffed, they won't grow out of their clothes. The clothes just expand with them. So that makes life a lot easier. You don't have to worry too much so long as you don't keep feeding them cake. I think this lot will be having a cake-free diet for a few episodes. Might have to get them running around at the gym or something as well to wear off all this cake they've just been eating. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this episode. I've enjoyed doing it, except for all the days I've had to spend getting them all made over into their new outfits and new clothes. So here is the fashion show I promised you. I caught little Bindi running around in circles madly in the garden, and of course as soon as I started recording him, he stopped. And here we are. This is little Patsy, and she is another one who is obsessed with holding court. 2 of them in the household now. Now let's go through the outfits. I'm not going to talk through them. I think I'll just do it with text. So stick around if you're interested. We'll just see all of the different Sims in the household in their various outfits. And you'll need to pause if you want to have a closer look, because it'll just keep running it through them all.
Phoebe Roo, Phoebe Tishi, ha! Oh, Bumbaloo! Vuja Bakati. Habadoo!
Ziba. Ah! Ha ha ha! Splart!
Wagno! Oh, Narfly! Oh!
Woo!
Dark!
Woo!
Wow! Yeah! Dipso toy! Dipso toy! Wagno!
Evening Bipso Toy! stronger. Ha! Woohoo! Oi! Bags are full. Ha ha ha! Wagno!
And finally, here are the three couples. On the left is Olivia and Don. Olivia's the founder. Cindy was Olivia's daughter and her heir, and she was the sim for Generation 2, and her husband Bill. And on the right, we've got Bill and Cindy's daughter Donna, who is Cindy's heir, and her future husband Clark. There's no romance between them yet. I'll be working on that in the next episode. We'll get them married, and then it'll be Generation 3. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe if you'd like to see any more of this story. Bye for now. Happy simming.